Hi, I'm Chelsea Clinton, and one thing you may not know about me is I am not running for public office. I really am constantly surprised by the stories of me running for Congress, Senate, City Council, the presidency. I really find this all rather hysterical because I've been asked this question a lot throughout my life, and the answer has never changed. I clearly do not support the president and certainly hope that he is defeated in the next election. I love my city councilwoman. She's awesome. I'm obsessed with Tish James, who is our public advocate in New York City. I support our mayor. I love my congresswoman. I love our senators. If I support everyone up to that point, I think they're doing a good job. And if someone steps down or something changes, I'll then ask and answer those questions at that time. But right now, no, I'm not running for public office. I wasn't allowed to have sugar cereal. We only had dessert on the weekends or special occasions. I really liked healthy foods growing up, thankfully. I also loved cheese. So the healthy foods that maybe I wasn't so thrilled about, my mother just melted cheese on top of broccoli until I learned to like broccoli. My son is only 9 months old, so he's just eats mush right now. And thankfully, he's liked everything he's tried so far except for bananas. I don't know why. And I'm still breastfeeding, so he drinks a lot of milk. And my daughter loves peanut butter. If you ask her, like, Charlotte, what do you want for breakfast? She'll say peanut butter. What do you want for lunch? Peanut butter. What do you want for dinner? Peanut butter. We don't let her eat peanut butter 3 times a day or every day. But I'm thrilled that she likes peanut butter, and she would literally eat it all the time if we let her. I worked on a cattle ranch this summer after my sophomore year in college. I wanted to do something outside. I wanted to do something with my hands, and I loved it. I herded cattle, kind of from pasture to pasture. I helped give shots to the cows, their kind of inoculations. I helped build fences. I helped repair fences.
How do you herd cattle?
So I grew up riding, so I spent a lot of time on horseback. So yes, the horses help herd the cattle. I worked really, really hard and slept really well every night. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. The best advice I've ever received is from my mom, and maybe it isn't so much advice as just the example that she set for me growing up, where I certainly always saw her work hard, but I never doubted I was the most important person in her life. When my mom traveled, she would leave me a note for every day that she was gone. Sometimes it would be like, and here's what I think I'm doing today on this trip. And sometimes it would be, I wish that I were there with you, reading you a story. And if I were there, like, here's a story that we would be reading. So think of me tonight when your dad's reading you that story. And certainly, as soon as Charlotte can read, I'll do the same. It would just have to be Frederick Douglass. For someone who was not only a fierce abolitionist and believed in universal suffrage, I just think he would have a particularly profound and insightful perspective on what's happening in our country, but also around the world. My husband Mark and I do still subscribe to good old-fashioned newspapers. So we get the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and the FT. I like the feel of the newspaper. I also like reading the newspaper on the weekend when I have more time and it feels sort of indulgent to sit there and kind of read through the newspaper. And there are things that I read, particularly on the weekends, that I don't think I would read without the physical newspaper. And I don't think I would read about gardens if it weren't kind of part of the FT weekend. I don't think I would read kind of the stories about soul food restaurants unless the Wall Street Journal were highlighting that in the off-duty section one weekend. I read different things, and that feels really kind of indulgent and fun, but also important to have kind of a grounding and not only kind of politics and history and so much of sort of what I focus on during the week. I do some Facebook, but I spend more time on Twitter. Twitter enables all of us to be part of a shared conversation, and at its best, certainly kind of facilitates that instantaneous knowledge that hopefully is empowering and not overwhelming, hopefully kind of catalyzes action and doesn't just become a part of disenfranchisement. I mean, hopefully it's more about empowering people than not. I saw Hamilton at the Public, actually, which was a lot of fun to see it in that intimate environment when, if it's possible to imagine, there was even more energy and just the sense of this is really, really special. Love the soundtrack, and I love the mixtape. I think Lin-Manuel is a genius. I think everyone who helped create Hamilton gave us a real gift, particularly at this moment in time. And I think it's also a real challenge to anyone who thinks this is not the moment to stand up and speak out, because this is certainly not the moment to be silent. And whether you want to share your voice on stage or on Twitter or kind of on the streets, I think we need everyone to rise up. I loved Hidden Figures, and I hope everyone sees that. I love action movies, so I'm gonna see Furious 8, and I've already seen Logan. I love that Logan is being succeeded by a little girl. It's great. He was and will always be an amazing Logan. Hopefully he'll come back.